Golf ball testing. It's getting close to St. Patrick's Day. They're still playing golf. And a whole lot more here on What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Welcome back to McGolf. What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Jim McCleary's 6-time top 100 best club fitters with Golf Digest and the last Professional Clubmaker Society International Clubmaker of the Year. How about that? Woohoo! I like throwing that out there every once in a while. So anyway, the weather has changed remarkably out here. I'd like to show you. I don't know if I can or cannot. Let's find out. It's a different bit of a camera. Can you see that? It's very, 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 very light out. Thanks to daylight savings time, right? Thanks to the daylight savings time and we went from frozen tundra not more than 2 days ago. We got 2 inches of snow, severely below freezing weather, and now it's 59 to almost going on 60 right now. So it's not supposed to see another really super cold day, well, ever for this season. So not too bad. So we're getting there. People are going to get out playing. I've got every one of our bays on the outside has been full. So it's that time of season. And we've been doing a lot out there, right? We have been doing quite a bit. We had a set come in from Mark. He's in Columbus. And he just wanted, I didn't do any big tweaking. I customed his set from what he wanted. And this is what we got. Mark is a big Buckeye fan, so as you can look on the ferrules, it's got a big Buckeye color thing going on it, which is very, very cool. I think this is the same picture. Yep. And there's the look of it. So he has some KBS shafts in there. And he has a bit of a different shaft logo on it, and it has the old Captain America. I think it's from probably the last Avengers movie. And then it has the scarlet and gray grips that are on the back. I really kind of like these new school colored grips. Let's see if I can get a little closer. There they are. I like the school colored grips. The black that you see back here is much more aggressive than the typical gray. I don't know if it's because it's black or it's on purpose, but it just seems to be a tad more aggressive. I like that part of it. It was actually kind of nice. Another one, we have another one for Mr. Gomez. He had, I'm doing a little bit of a fix-up job. Had a bit of a ferrule issue, so we put up a new ferrule for him. Got that taken care of, so we're good there. And here, this one's going back to California. These are some ZX5s and 7s. And the shaft we originally put in them actually worked very well. It started giving him tendonitis, so we switched to a graphite shaft, and it was the Acras. And these are the constant weights. These are constant weight 95s, and these are one of very few constant weight parallel tip shafts. So it's actually kind of cool. So you can do a little bit of trimming if you had to, right? But they come in discrete lengths. And so we soft stepped them to give it even more softer feel. And we actually blew the grips off and put them back on since they were almost brand new, right? So we got that one taken care of. And I found a little something out there. I know you guys always see me with something like this. And if you partake, grand. If you don't, that's even better as well. But I did find this. And you want to look down here at the bottom. Look at that number over there on the right. 125 proof. Oof. I tried some, and for what it is, it's actually quite smooth. But don't think for a minute it doesn't burn. It does. And for all those, Miss McGolf, she got out of her surgery as of Thursday, and the doctor repaired her foot, and she's got a bandage on top of this thing, and she's been rolling around on a scooter like a pro. And so I told her I was going to embarrass her a little bit. There she is getting ready to go in. Well, actually, this is her coming back. So So that was, but it did work. She's running around on the scooter already, getting used to using muscles that probably haven't been used in a while for walking on one leg, that kind of thing. All right, so we got that taken care of. And as far as the golf being played, I was just checking just before coming in, and let's see if I can get it to redo. There it is. So Cameron Smith is first. Keegan Bradley is second, tied with Paul Casey. Keegan is shooting a -6 round with Cameron Smith's -6 round, and Paul Casey is shooting a -3. Oh, and Lahiri too. He's tied for second, and they're on 15, 17, 15, and 14. So and these guys have been slipping and sliding all day. So any one little turn of event, and we might see somebody different. But it looks like Smith is doing very, very well. Not bad, not bad at all, right? So we like that. We like that a lot. The fittings are on full fire right now, and right now we'll talk about it. So again, like and subscribe. All right, hit the bell on the bottom, that little notification bell. That way, when the new videos come out, you'll be notified. And I do have a video coming out Monday. I let it go the other week, and I've been been doing quite a few. I did one on adjusting adjustable drivers, and I did one on, and this is going to be kind of unique. I did one on the triad and the staff. There we go. I compared them, and Wilson was kind enough to send me a dozen of each. Bob and I took them out and played we played the triads out when we were out and about, and we lost those just as easily as anybody else. But it wasn't from massive curve shots; it was just poor shots. Anyway, I did the review on them, and surprisingly enough, both of these are very good golf balls. So they're sleepers, and because let's face it, Wilson doesn't get any love when it comes to golf balls. However, they probably should, right? The staff professional model, or whatever you want to call it, the staff model, that thing will stand up with just about anybody as far as I'm concerned. And this triad, when I first hit it, I thought it felt heavy. Is that kind of a way for it to come off the club? It felt kind of heavy. But when I was actually doing the testing, it didn't. So maybe I just got my swing back, and that's what we were doing. So a lot going on with that one. Also, topics. I'm going to start getting into putters here in a little bit, and we'll be able to talk more and more about those. And matter of fact, Daniel, if you're out there, I sent you an email about your McGregor. In that, so Daniel sent me a picture of an old McGregor that was pinned, and it was a putter that was pinned, and it was their version of the 8802. And you have to drive the pin out, and no, the club won't fall out on its own. It is typically press fit in, and at the era that it was made, it was probably got some glue in it. So a little bit of heat, it'll pop right off, no big deal. The real problem that you're going to have is the ferrule, because it's a very, very long ferrule, and it has an extreme taper. And if you notice, it goes from being flush on the hosel to being flush with the shaft. That hasn't been done in a very, very long time. And why? Because it's hard, right? It's hard to get down there without nicking a shaft or something like that. And that particular style has pretty much gone away. However, if you go and look at like in the wood shaft circles on the internet, they very well may have some, because those were being used on some of those in the period between going from wood shafts to these wood kind of covered shafts. They weren't really wood; they were metal shafts with a coating on the outside that looked like wood, and then to steel. So I would check out there or try and save it. If you get it punched out, you don't need a whole bunch of heat. You very well may get away with it, but that's what you need. All right. So we got all that. I'm trying to think if there's any more. Nope. That's about it. So let's go to do some comments. Got to go to the top. Here we go. There's Matt. No rounds this week. Question. No rounds. Oh, chasing kids. How do you store extra golf clubs, bags, balls, and other accessories? See you next week. What course should Sally and I play as we head down? Ooh. Okay, so question one, how do I store my extra stuff? Well, my only other extra stuff, I have another bag and it's sitting right here. I keep it indoors, and that's really about it. Now, as far as golf balls, gloves, those kinds of things, tees, I keep them in their boxes, and I will keep them in a cabinet just to keep them out of the dark. Sunlight can really do some damage to the things, and so can inclement weather. So if you're in the garage and you got a cover on it, and you're storing it, the heat and the cold will still get to the rubber and the condition of the material. It can eat right through it, right? It can do that. I also have a shelf, and Matt has seen this. I have all my extra stuff, and it's sitting right over here. A wire mesh. You can get them at Sam's Club kind of thing, and it's just a wire mesh storage thing, and that's where I put all the rest of my stuff. All righty. As far as course coming on down. Oh, wow. A good course coming down. Let's see. You're going to come from north of Columbus. I am told that there is a course just northeastern part of Columbus that is very, very nice. If you wanted to see something that was more what you see on the internet, Eagle's Nest is another one in that area, and they're in combined with another one. There was another one that used to be it was infamous with the basket company. It's not called that anymore, but I'm told that that's a very nice course too. We'll go from there. Yeah, Waverly, right? Made it to the Final Four. All right, so our little bitty burg of a village, the boys basketball team made it to the Final Four in their league. They're in their size of school. So yeah, that's saying something. Good for them. There's Mike. Left Buffalo, 85 degrees. Airport was 21 and landed. Golf talk. Cam Smith, best putter on your... I don't know yet. Oh, on your tour? There's the tour. I don't know. Cameron's been... Today, his putter is on fire. I've been listening to some of it. Dude can't miss. And that's what it takes to win those types of golf tournaments too, right? There's Danny. Danny Johnson, up surgery went well. Will a face balance putter work for somebody with a slight arc in their stroke? Yeah. And just as long as it's not, as long as you have the right length and the right lie angle and the right loft for it, I think so, yeah. When we talk about that, and Danny, that comes up to some putter stuff. So when you see this, you see out there that face balance for a guy straight back, straight forward. You see a bladed putter is made for a guy that, because it toe hangs, is for a very much of an arcing, and that amount of toe hang is in line with the amount of arc, right? Now, that's not a rule, that's a guide, right? If you were a straight back and straight forward putter, could you use a toe balance club? Well, for certain, depending on if you held on to it. If you were flimsy in your wrists, probably not. But if you're straight back and straight forward, you can get away with a lot, right? And don't be, and as we're seeing now, particularly in the tri-hots, I've just noticed that the lion's share, if not all of them, are bladed like, and two of them face balance, or at least one of them face balances, maybe two face balances. So you got a face balance bladed putter. So you got to be very, very careful about what you're looking at in order to make that stuff work. And slight arcs, Danny, that's just, all that is tweaking. If you can bring it back to square, then yes, you can. Mr. Sapp, what do you say? What is the best way to decide on a putter, meaning face balance, strong arc, or in between? Oh man, you guys are leading me right into it. I think we talked about it anyway. So instead of way I describe it to people here is you're looking at a balance that does not fight your stroke, right? As opposed to one that marries up, one that does not fight your stroke. And you're talking about that. Deciding on a putter, meaning face balance or strong arc or in between. So, and that's what it is. Typically, if you have a strong arc, you'll have I don't have a putter in here, but we'll use my iPhone as a thing. So if this is the putter right here, or let's do it like this. If this is let's do it like this, and this is the putter and a toe hang, right? And I'm looking at it, and this is the face, and so that's not doing it very well. So let's do it like this. So if we do it like this and the toe hang, you go to hold it, and what it does is it tilts down. So there's this much toe hang, there's this much toe hang, that's face balance, right? And you can get as much as looking like that. All those, you can reweight those to slow down or speed up the way that it travels. You can either do it by weighting the putter head, you can do it by weighting in the handle. There's a lot of different things that you can do to help you kind of get into that particular putter. Now, there are some extremes that just won't work, but it is what it is. So, yeah, so again, if you're straight back and straight forward, typically ones that are face balance, meaning they point straight up into the air. Now, there's another one which we call target line balance, and the guys at Lab Golf hate it when I say it, but they have that with that branding iron putter that they've got, and now the what is it called, the M2 or Mizzy or whatever it's called. So they putt it. It keeps you on track, and that's called target line balancing. So if you weren't like this, you would be like this to the path. All right, and those are very viable balancings. We'll call it very very viable balancings. And then for those who aren't that straight back and straight forward, you can even get a mallet putter depending on the neck, and it can toe hang ever so slightly. And that's what they were using on the tour last year quite regularly. Mr. Toulon from Odyssey Golf made a big splash with that. You saw all the spiders and all that stuff. If you notice, a lot of them had this little Z neck at the bottom, and that's so that the putter would kind of turn for them because they were slight arcers. So you could get a mallet putter slightly open, and voila, you're there. So that's it. All right. David Rogers. Hello, Jim and Robin. Hope they're giving you the good meds. They were. I believe you me. A year ago, you put Acro shafts in my D7 4s. Would you be able to use the shafts on the new D9s? The answer is yes. Yes, I would. It is a pull of the shaft, put it back in, no problem. The trick to pulling shafts is not using too much heat and having a good puller. And of course, I've got a pretty good puller, and a butane torch, so I don't use a lot of heat. So yeah, I've done as many as 4 shaft pulls on the same shaft to go into different club heads. Yeah, guy just couldn't settle on a head, and he just wanted to keep going around. So okay, no problem. Now that was graphite. Steel, you probably go quite a few more. All righty. Mr. Dave, what's going on? 55 degrees in Michigan. That's like heat wave, right? We're starting to see it. Spring is springing. We hope so. Charlie got a 41 on the front, 43 on the back. 37 strokes walking on to 18. Then the wedge and wound up with a 6 iron or a 6 on the hole. Well, Charles, the fact that you had knee-deep snow here within a week ago, I'd say that's pretty doggone good. Right? I'd say that's pretty doggone good indeed. So good for you. Does anyone have it on? All I've been doing is I've been tracking it. Right? I've been tracking it. Amen at Christmas. Here we go. Let's see what we got. Updating. They are now on 16, and it's Cameron Smith's got a 2-stroke lead over Casey and Lahiri. Apparently Bradley took a double bogey somewhere, and Kisner jumped up one. So it's getting tighter. It's getting tighter. We'll just keep looking at it as we go, right? All right, physical therapy going great on the shoulder. Nice. Started playing April 1st. Hope Robin's ankle is doing well. It was her foot, brother, but yes, we understand. Thank you. Saturday snowfall almost gone. Yeah, ours. It's kind of funny. There's a ditch that accumulates a little bit more snow, and it's funny. You see a patch of snow maybe 3 or 4 foot wide, and seeing the snow in 60-degree weather. It's like, wow, that's different. I haven't seen that for a while. All righty. Darren Martell, nice to good. Hello, bud. Oh, I forgot to tell you. So you see Matt on here quite a bit, right? Matt's gonna join me next Monday. I think it's next Monday on the What's in My Drawer. So we'll have a good little golf talk. So all you guys can shoot answers or questions at Matt just as easily. All right. There's Dave. Hope you're recuperating. Yep, she is. James Johns. How about some Pappy? I'm not sure about what that means. All right. Speedy recovery. There we go. Darren, what's your view on Callaway ST Pro irons? What's the strongest, latest non-draw bias Callaway driver head in your opinion? Well, Darren, hold that thought. I got some. I like the new ST Pro irons. I think the new ST Pro irons are going to fit a lot more golfers than I think Callaway may have thought. It is a very workable club. It's a hollow body. We've seen that on the video that I've done on them describing what they do. And they hit well, right? They just hit really, really well. And they go all the way down into the gap wedge for either side, which is another plus. And the fact that the rifle 105 was available was kind of unique. I'm a big rifle guy. Been a rifle guy since day one, and it's been troublesome to try and find something that's equivalent. And these aren't anywhere near the originals, but that's a really close second. And I like them. And you'll see here if you guys watch. I'm going to release the golf ball video, and I was using my 7-iron. And it was the ST Pro, and you just check out the distances. I was shocked and amazed myself. So yeah, so non-draw biased Callaway driver head. Currently in the lineup, there are 4 drivers, and it's the Max D, the LS, and then the Triple Diamond LS. By far and away, the Triple Diamond LS is the most non-draw biased, to the point it might actually set open a touch. Okay. Now, that said, you had better be hitting it on the screws. When you hit it on the screws, it's big time reward, right? Big time reward. However, when you miss, it's painful. And I did that, and I've got all the video, what they call in the can right now, but and I did that, and I'll just let you know, I was throwing it out there. I hit a couple out to 270-ish. Right in here, I don't hit as well as I think I should. I think that's the way everybody is anyway. I got a couple out to the 270, and I missed one, and virtually cost me nearly 50 yards for the miss hit. So be prepared, right? This is like imagine if you will, hitting a driver with the same kind of playing consistency as a blade. All right, only bigger. And that's probably it. The second one certainly is the LS model, and that I've been playing the LS model for 3 generations, and it'll be this one as well. And to me, it does it depending on how you hold it. Some people will let the club just set, and it sets square, and then when they grab it, the club twists and it closes. If you do that, then everything is going to shut. Everything. You got to learn to catch it while it's still in its normal playing position. But that's what it is. The triple black diamond or the triple diamond LS is the first. LS is next, Max after that, and then just on the opposite end of the spectrum, the D series, the Max D. Dude, that'll pull it to your inside in a heartbeat. So yeah, it's a good one. There's Krister. How are you, sir? What are the clips behind? Take a guess. Take a guess. Necessity is the mother of invention, brother. Those are pool cue holders, pool cues, and not the little ones, the big ones. And they're like they got a 1 inch. I think they're classified in either the 1 inch or 3/4 inch, something along that lines. And I buy them by 50 at a pair. Used to get them on eBay. I just go right to the pool suppliers, and they've got them by the gobs. And they're held on by two little bitty screws about that big. And then you see that the thing that they're sitting on right there, that's another. All that is a 1x. It's a 1x2. I cut it in half and painted it the same as the wall. So all you see is the pool cue holders. It does a pretty good job. Been using them for 20 years. In fact, half of those ones up there have been up there almost that long. Yeah, an hour earlier. Oh, so we are on. So, Krister, we had what's called daylight savings time. I'm sure you guys know what that is over there. And so everything, we set the clocks ahead or forward 1 hour. This is the spring forward portion of our daylight savings time. So everything is very much lit up instead of being super dark. That's the reason why I'm facing this way. Otherwise, it would be blown out. And so instead of being kind of light, darkish light in the morning and then just as dark in the afternoon, now it'll be a little bit lighter in the afternoon or in the morning and totally ready to go and sunshine till probably around 7 or 8. So we like it. All right. Here it is, mid-March is the holdup. I know, right? And we keep asking them that. Mrs. McGolf actually, Robin talks to him about this, at least to our rep about it, and she had a date. Hopefully, she'll throw it out here in a little bit. All right. So we're talking Matt's right there. So there was a point in time where I lived in Indiana, and Mrs. McGolf lived there as well. And we lived right on the timeline, right? We lived right on the timeline. So the difference between Eastern and Central and so on, we were in the Indiana line between Central and Eastern, and so we never changed our clocks. They opted not to change their clocks, and it it's kind of funny. So on the fall back, it would get dark somewhere around 4 o'clock. It was crazy. It'd get dark around 4 o'clock. It was just nutty or fruitcake. However, in the summertime, it paid off huge. I can remember playing baseball when I was a kid there, and we'd be playing baseball till 9, 10 o'clock at night and not need the stadium lights. It would just stay up. It would stay that lit. So yeah, it was. There's pros and cons to all of that. All right, Russell Weaver just picked up some ERG V3 PWs. What's your take on these? Have a good day. ERGs. I'm not sure what the ERGs are, Russell. I'm thinking I should know these people, but I just for some reason I'm drawing a blank on them. Give me another hint here, and then I'll tell you. I have a chance to buy a Srixon 785 driver head. The seller's what? 785 is not a bad little driver head. It's probably not as forgiving as the normal 7 here is, but that's the reason why they have improvements. If you're getting a good deal and it fits your style, then I don't see why not. Yes, I agree. David, what would be a comparable steel stiff iron to the CFS distance steel shaft? The CFS distance steel shaft. Oh my goodness, I know what it is. Um, if we're talking, so Dave, if we're talking standard weight, right? Standard weight type stuff. Um, what that steel shaft is. Oh, what am I looking for? You know what? Really, and I'm kind of getting into these guys. What was really there is uh, the elevate shaft. The elevate shaft was in that very same category. If you're talking standard weight, right? The 115, 120 ish type stuff. If you're looking at a much lighter version of the same thing, I would go again with the same concept in that Elevate now has come out with an 85 mph and a 95 mph. Not necessarily weight, but it's really close. The 95 would be another good one. That's just the newest one that's out there. Um, the tendency would be to lean towards the KBS Tour 90s or even the Neos. Well, actually, the Nippon 950 GHs. However, they're a little softer in the butt than the CFSs. But the Neo would be a good one. I think you'd like that one if you're talking 95 grams. So difference between standard weight 95, Neo, Elevate, that kind of stuff. Whew. So for about 2 weeks there, it's going to be easier on your sleep, Krister. I saw that you bought an old Ray Cook. I saw that on your feed there a little bit ago. Yep, that in the older days, and that Ray Cook, that Ray Cook that's a dated model, Krister, and that used to be the way that they did it. Wood plugs were considered the norm, and you could do that. And what that allowed was the club maker to shape the insert to the particular size that they needed. In fact, that you even see where in days that they would sand them down, the sand the dowel down too. There's Emmanuel. What do you say, sir? Have a speedy recovery, Robin. Look forward to the reviews. I did notice the Diet Mountain Dew on my bench. Did you now? Did you now? My breakfast drink of choice. Emmanuel, that's a shift worker's drink right there, buddy. When I first started shift work, we had that Lipton powdered stuff, and I would make it to where the spoon would stand up in it. And it got to the point where it was tearing me up, and the guys would tell me, "Well, drink this Mountain Dew stuff," and wasn't a big Mountain Dew guy, but I started on it, and it is a drink of choice in the McGolf household as long as I'm sitting here. I average at least one or two a day for sure, and well, it is what it is. And now I've trained myself to the point I like that particular flavor. The double diamond, triple diamond LS is awesome. I've been wanting to call this thing the double black diamond, and I have no reason why. I know where that comes from. It's almost like it's a skiing thing. But yes, the triple diamond. I did. I hit it. I thought I hit it pretty good. The ones that I did hit, I thought I hit pretty good. But boy, oh boy, you miss it, forget about it. And that seems to be the general school of thought across the YouTube universe too. Dylan, what do you say, buddy? I need some good weather. Well, we're doing that, preparing for the PGA PAT test. When am I doing mine? I am probably, if I can get out enough, Dylan, it's going to happen probably, I'm going to say, because now they've changed the rules where you can go through it. And it turns out my Sun Mountain bag rep, Devin, you've seen her on some videos. She's the section vice president. So whenever I want to go do something, it's just a matter of calling her up. But I think I'm going to get a handful of rounds now that I think I think I can score low enough to make it happen. I found a little something in putting when I was down in Gulf Shores in how the stroke works a little bit, and the little bit of the chipping. The rest of it, I think I got. So if we can get there, I can get down in there. And I just turned 59. I just turned 59, so I can play up. I should be able to destroy a course somewhere in order to make that happen. There's David. He has driver head only. The seller does not have the adjustable hosel. What are the reshafting options? Ooh. David, you have to check and see if the 785 hosel, or the adjustable hosel, is the same in the ZX line. If there are, it's just a matter of obtaining one of those and reshafting it, and you should be good to go. And there's no reason to think that they wouldn't, unless they had some big philosophy change. I'm looking. The reason I'm looking away is, pardon me, I'm looking at the drivers right now, and I can't think that they would change that radically. So yeah, we should be able to get a hosel and then put a shaft in it, no problem. There's my boy Sean. We were just talking about that today because I was looking at I've got the heads and the grips and everything just sitting there waiting on the shafts. It was in that 3 to 4 week category. We should be seeing them here shortly, I would think. Those things show up unannounced. They don't tell me when they're coming. Although so here's one. When you can help me out. Matt can help me out. And so what I'm doing is I'm getting ready to set up, and thanks to Acura, okay, Jumbo Max and Acura both. So I was at the PGA show, and John, the guy at Jumbo Max, good guy. He's the guy that you see on there. He's the one that wore the dress in the commercials. He's the guy he's basically the face of them right now. And he comes up to me, he says, yeah, we're getting ready to get a fitting bag. I'm like, I'm talking to a grip guy, right? A fitting bag for what? And he says, for fitting grips. I'm like, dude, no, that's not going to work. He says, what do you mean? I said, well, why would I asked him straight up. I said, why would I want to fit a grip? I mean, sure, you wanted the right size or something along that lines. I mean, we've all seen that. Matt's seen it. Even Sean has seen it, right? Why? And he says, well, with the driver, they're seeing an average gain of 4 miles an hour with the proper grip. 4 miles an hour with the driver is 10 yards. Are you sure? Are you sure you're seeing that? Because I'm going to throw the BS flag on you right now. He says, oh, no, really. Well, he's got this staff bag just jam-packed full of these grips. And I'm like, no, dude, there's nobody in their right mind is going to fill up a staff bag with grips just to test it. It's just not going to happen. And he says, well, what do you think? And I said, well, you know what? I said, let me test it. Let me do my test and we'll see. He says, all right. So he sent me 11 grips to test with. And that's more than a good smattering of what I need. And then I told Acura about it, and Acura was more than willing to jump on board. So those constant weights that I just showed you, I just today received the constant weight shafts that are going to go on the Jumbo Max grips that I'm going to make fit so they can go on any one of my heads in my fitting system so that we can test. I'm going to test 3, 4, 5 guys, golfers, gals, doesn't matter, and we're going to see whether or not we gain MPH. Now, with the irons, I think it's going to be a lot less than 4, but it should be correlating. Should be correlating. There you go. It should correlate from irons to drivers. So if I'm getting 4, maybe I'll get 2, right? And we'll see what happens, because 2 can be fairly significant as well. That could be a half of a club. And if you're looking for that extra distance and you really like what you got, changing a grip, boom. I don't see anything wrong with that. So I think it's worth a shot, and we're going to do it here fairly soon. Ooh, that was a lot of talking. Colin Miles, what do you say, buddy? You may recall last week's chat that I wanted to change from the 75-gram X Flex. 75-gram X to a 60-gram X, result increase yardage. The result was increase in yardage plus 15 yards. Slightly increase. Any tips to reduce? Huh. I do have a tip. It took me a minute. I had to go through all my. So, Colin, well, here's the deal. You went with lighter weight in order to gain swing speed. However, the weight that you lost caused you basically a little bit of control, right? Okay. So let's put that weight. I do like the 60 gram idea, and I do like the X-Flex idea, but now we probably need to add just a tiny bit of weight or move it, right? And move it. I would think that if you put a little bit of weight under the grip where your hands are at, right? So that it's not so much when you take the club back and you're like, oh, there's the head, it's way out there. It's not necessarily that. It's when you bring your hands back and you're like, oh, here's my hands. Oh, here's my hands. Here's my hands. All hand puppet, right? Then you come back up and you're like, oh, there it is. And then once you know it's there, you make this more confident downswing and it goes back like that. I would try, just for the sake of trying, and without messing around with your grips because they may be brand spanking new. Just take a length just to see whether or not something improves, because that way you can pull it back off. Get you a strip of lead tape about, I'm going to say, let's go 3 inches, a 1/4 inch wide, 3 inches. Let's just do that for the sake of testing. And then wrap it around the end of the grip at the very, I don't have any club shots, at the very bottom of the grip, and then go out and hit some swings and see what happens. And if it does work and you think, wow, this really feels good, then blow off the grips, put that same strip worth of tape and put it right under your bottom hand, the one that's closest to the end, right? And let it sit there so that you can, when you bring it back, you feel the club. That's what I would try. It's called back weighting, and guys that are into that would probably like it. You're going to go, well, the head's going to feel lighter, and it will. All it is a trick, but what we're doing is we're putting it in a place where you can still make use of the weight and still gain the head speed. All right. Ted Solich, how you doing, buddy? It's been a while. Hit the Callaway Rogue driver and the Mizuno 223 Pro irons. Liked both of them. Wanted to try the new Mizuno driver, but they didn't have the head and left-handed. Do you have them available to fit? I have the one that they do have available, and it is right there. Right there. And yeah, I do. It's I like it. It's I don't know if it's as much a spin killer as the previous model. It has a bit of a different feel, I will say that. Looks cool at address, all the different things, but yeah, I've got one. And the shaft that I found that works really, really good in these things, and stumbled onto it by pure accident, is these guys. The VRTX it's a club maker's only kind of shaft on the based on the Project X platform. Very, very nice. There's Camilio. How are you today, buddy? Where are you at now? You've been traveling. I'd like to hear where you're at. Are there military grips? Probably. If you're looking for something that says Navy or Army or something on it, yeah, they're available. They're under. Go look up Clear Grips. The Clear Grips brand. What they do is you strip the club, and what they basically have is a sticker, and this sticker has to be put around the shaft in such a fashion you don't leave any wrinkles, because whatever you do is going to be seen. That's the thing. And you wrap it around, and then you have a clear golf grip. Traditionally, it's in the the like a tour velvet feel, right? And then what you instead of using a solvent, you use the liquid hairspray, or you squirt a bunch of hairspray into it, slide it on, get it where you want it, and within a few minutes it's sticky and you're ready to go. Before we moved here into this shop, that was a couple of years back, those things were extraordinarily popular. People were making their own stickers to put underneath. And what we'd do is they'd take their sticker and then we would wrap them in a clear, like a laminating paper or laminating sheet, and then slide the stuff on. And it seemed to work out pretty good as well. But yeah, they used to have football, baseball, basketball, colleges, all the different military branches, and then there were some people who were putting in. It was a good logo thing if you had a company or something that you could do that kind of stuff with. It was actually kind of a neat deal. I know they're still around. I just haven't used them in a while. Krister, thinking about buying a McGregor MK5 putter. You are on a roll, man. You're on a roll. Do I prefer a 46 or a 50 wedge or a P and an A wedge set? I prefer both, Camilio. I prefer both only because that's what I'm now used to. My pitch and wedge does run in that 46 area, and I do like the 50 to 52 in the gap wedge. And the reason why I like it is that my half shot in that A wedge is a 100-yard shot. Tired, ready to go, whatever. It's my 100-yard club all day. Everybody wants a 100-yard club. That's what it is for me. And that's the reason why I go with that. And then I go to a 56 and a 60. And I probably should go 54 and 58, but the 56 gives me a distance that I know, and the 60 gives me a distance that I know. And I find myself in those areas quite a bit. So I guess by playing, I fitted myself for that. I'm still struggling with the Sim 2 replacement driver. Do not know why, but I feel the head's too light. Now, I'll be the first to admit I'm not the world's biggest expert on this Sim driver, but I can only imagine that there is a removable weight on this thing. And because I don't remember any sliders or anything like that on it. And if it has a removable weight, Camilio, I would go out and look for the weight kit. And I'd pull it out and look at the bottom. It'll tell you how many grams is on the backside, and go get a weight kit and throw one in there that's, say, 4 grams heavier, and just see if that doesn't help. That'd be cool. That would be cool. Dennis Hoods, greetings, Jen Rob. Any recommendations for ZZ Light shafts? Holy cow, dude. ZZ Light. The P2, they feel and perform great. Oh my gosh. Oh, I think I got a set of ZZ Lights in a box. This is perfect. What's in my drawers right there. I had the JZs and the ZZ. I'm pretty sure I got ZZ Lights. I have to go back up and look. I tore apart tons of those things in the day. And the funny part, ZZ Light really isn't light. All right, it really isn't. It's more of a it's more of like when they had dynamic gold and Dynalite gold. Dynalite wasn't lighter. It was just a different shaft than the dynamic. Most people fit into the Dynalite gold, but it didn't have the gold band, so nobody liked it. However, it was probably the better one, i.e. the ZZ Light. And so I would look into that. But I think in the shaft comparison guide, they talk like the TT XLs are probably one that will come very, very close. They say TT Light, the XL lights or whatever, extra lights. That's what they're saying. And again, they're not light. That would probably be one of the easiest, most affordable shafts to go through. If you're wanting something a little bit more sturdy, again, I would go with the Elevates. All right. Rail car. All right. Ram Jam car 2. Okay. Whew. I was reading online about someone used the same ball for 23 rounds of 18. How many of the comments were about how the ball deteriorated inside and out and won't fly right? Well, he wouldn't be wrong. And if he did, for one, I'd have to know who it was. But number two, I give you, for instance, the pros probably won't use a golf ball more than one round, some even less than one round. And it's because they hit the ball so hard that it'll either scuff it or it'll give them a feel and the ball just won't fly right. And so that does happen, or it did happen regularly. Now with the new mantles they got, the core within the core within the core, that kind of thing. Does it happen as much as it did in the past with the balata covers and the rubber bands and that kind of stuff? I would venture a guess to say no. That you would probably wear the core out long before the interior started giving way. But 23 rounds of 18, that's pretty significant. Number one, he didn't lose the golf ball. But number two, yeah, what's gonna happen. Moreover, is if the cover's going to get all dinged up and smashed and wrecked and all that kind of stuff, the aerodynamic of the ball is going to be tortured. To be honest with you, and so what it'll look like is the ball will get bigger. The ball will look bigger because it's not reducing the laminar barrier around the ball. Isn't it funny that I know that kind of crud? All right. Dave demoed the new TaylorMade Stealth Driver with my gamer shaft and golf ball. The numbers were really no better than my gamer Sim 2. Not going to upgrade this season. Good. You know what? And that's the cool part about it. Whether or not and that's good that you tested it, right, Dave? And I'm glad that you did with everything that you have. And I would suggest that the same with all these other new drivers. Like, for instance, if you've got the Epic and you're interested in the Rogue, bring the Epic and do a side-by-side comparison. Is it, even when he says, so let's just say the Stealth beat your Sim driver by 2 yards. Okay, Grant, is it worth it to you? Is that $500 and some change bill worth those 2 yards? Some people will say yes. Some people will say yes. Some people will go absolutely not. And it just depends on where you're at with golf in doing that. And that's across the board. Every OEM is going to be like that. And I do like the fact that you test it. And I do like the fact that you do that. The other thing I would look at, Dave, is when you go there with your gamer shaft, is that to try something that's comparable in the new makes and see if maybe that combination didn't work better. All right, let's keep going. Here we go. Sunny V. No way. I bet you still got snow, though. Good for you, though. When will clubs be made in the USA again? No waiting, maybe. I don't know, dude. That would take a concerted effort in order to make that happen again. The last one that I knew, Ping always talks about making stuff in the USA. Now, there is some stuff that True Temper does that is made in the U.S. The short batches and things like that, their shafts are made in the U.S. Who did the Aldila had some stuff that was made in the U.S. Some of the steel, I don't know if the steel for True Temper is made in the U.S. I don't know of any of the rest of them as far as shafts. Grips, you have Pure and Star that are made in the U.S. for certain. The only thing left is the heads, and that's going to be a tough call. The reason being is cost, right? It's still cost. Now, there will probably come a time, much like we're seeing in the computer chip era, that it might be worthy of doing it. The last one, it was said that Ping did it here, and they were the last ones to go overseas. That very well may be true. The last driver that I know for a fact that was made in the U.S. was a Ruger. And yes, it was made at the Ruger plant. But to bring it back, boy, oh boy, you'd have to be, unfortunately, in order for you to be competitive, you'd have to be very, very automated too. So that goes hand in hand. Michael Higgins, love your work, Mick. But those C chairs. I like them. Do you like those? Those are pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. Golf swings. All right, we got some questions. Number one, Jim, loft and line bending question. Is metal memory a thing with forged irons? I recently bent my clubs, triple checked them, remounted them, and 2 weeks later they're off by a degree. Metal memory is a thing. It's more of a thing with the cast than it is with forged, to be honest, and we all know why because you're asking. But if you've played a lot, okay, if you're a guy that takes a lot of turf, or you're one of those guys that has that nervous twitch that beats the ground like a drum when you're waiting, those kinds of things, and the softness of the club, for instance, PXG, the Gen 1s that first came out were extraordinarily soft. And I used to tell guys that, yep, I said it, but if you look mad at it, it'll bend on its own. And they were so soft. At one point, I took my bending bar and I just put it on I put it on there and I said, watch, this thing's going to bend itself. And sure enough, the weight of it bent it a half a degree to a degree. And that's no joke. Now, it could have been in a weak spot or whatever, but so if you have a soft forged head, yeah, that can happen. All right. To your point, daylight savings times not needing light as much as why we do it. Nixon brought it back during the energy crisis, so we're less as much. Well, there you go. That's cool. I'm down with some history. All right, down with history. I also like it if you look at that Nicolas Cage movie where they're talking about it. That was a good one. Uh-oh, spoiler alert. What's going on? Oh, did they finish? Let's take a look. Let's figure out who it was. Did they finish? Oh, so Cameron Smith is finished. He's minus 13 with a round of minus 6. Paul Casey finished with a round of minus 3 for a total of minus 11. Kisner is minus 10. The only guy that's got a shot is Lahiri, and he is minus 12, and it shows him being on 17. So if he can birdie, then he'll tie and they'll be going into playoffs. Wouldn't that be just absolutely frightening in this terrible weather that they've had? All right. Glad you're doing okay, Robin. Going to be back to running marathons shortly. In the 60s all week here in Central Illinois, I'm cutting and splitting firewood all week. Well, if you're going to split firewood in the 60s is a good time to be doing it. You don't have to worry about too many snakes, and you don't have to worry about it's not as hot like doing it in the 80s and 90s. Good call. All right. Golf swings. Haven't hit them yet. Still snow on the ground here. They've settled a degree flat where I bent them a couple of weeks ago. Now I have to bend them back again. Yeah, it does happen. I've seen it happen. And it's just a matter of going past it a little bit and then bringing it back up. All right. Pool cue stick holder. UPS just dropped off 50 of them here today for me. Going to put them up there in a bit. Ah, very good, buddy. Very good. Great minds, man. Great minds. There is too much difference between the old 950J. There is too much difference between the transition ponds and the new green screenings on the shaft. Now the old everywhere. So, Camilio, the 950s are still in the lineup, and they are of its own shaft. The green screenings are called Neos, and is a different profile altogether. It's they say promotes a little higher ball flight. I say it's a little bit more stout, so it can take a guy with a little more aggressive swing. I don't see them getting rid of either or just yet because the 950 is kind of their bread and butter shaft. Oh, that's where it comes from. Thank you. Yeah, the Alpha. I had no business looking at that club either, and as a matter of fact, I never got one. Cam Smith in the water at 18. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I'm told Keegan gets he's just a bundle of energy, man. If he could actually figure out how to channel that, he'd be awesome. Uh-oh, here we go. It's coming around. The guys are keeping us informed. Good job. You are correct, sir. Nicholas did back weight his clubs. Let's see where we're at here. Oh, I got final, and it looks like Cameron Smith came out of it minus 13 to Lahiri's 12. That's what I'm looking at. So congratulations to Cameron Smith. Hopefully that's truly the way it is. So back to Charlie's statement. Yes, he did. I actually met Nicholas's club maker, and he told me what he did. And I was surprised that that dude lived as long as he did with all the hazardous crap he was doing just to make Nicholas's clubs. And they would put a dowel rod in there and then drill out the dowel with a certain drill bit and then put in a gauged amount of lead into the back and then grip them, and he would do that. And it would just absolutely, and of course, Nicholas was actually a bomber. The dude could hit it forever. There is probably has birdies to force a playoff. Uh-oh, I'm getting the time warp here from Robin. Nick, what's up? Hope everybody's doing well. Do you know if Wilson's staff model wedges compare to the old PMPs? Same profile? Need to be fresh. I like a higher bounce narrow. So actually, I think they're a little bit better, Nick. I've hit the other ones. I've hit the PMPs. I did not like them as much, but right at this very moment in time, I've got two of the staffs in my bag. I think they hit very, very well. I like the movement of weight that they did on them, and the face is a little bit more aggressive. I would recommend them highly. C-Taper 130s are back ordered until 2023. Welcome to KBS. Why they chose that shaft to hold off, I have no idea. I'm getting a new set of Wilson CBs and wondering what you would think of the most comparable shaft to that. Well, let's think about that one for a moment. If I was going to do that and you wanted a decent feel in the club, I would look at the Mizuno Modus Pro 130s. The Modus Pro 130s are for the guy that just absolutely goes gorilla-fied, much like what the C-Tapers are built for. And they would have a comparable feel and performance. Those are the ones I would look at. Sounds good. You're more than welcome, Colin. Try it tomorrow and see what happens there. Very good. Very good. Nick Johnson, the staff models definitely have a narrower, so more balance. I have had the PM staff models are far superior. There you go. There's 2 votes for it. That's a +2, Ryan or Nick. Just barely. Just as much as she can running around on that scooter. I have the TTXL 355s and a set of MMB 17s and in stiff. They're stable, and my 37-inch 8-inch swing speed is 92. There you go. Very good. Krister's digging on the old, or PZ's digging on Krister liking the old clubs. Yep, yes they are. Oh, that's good. Thanks again for the info, Jim. No problem. Guys, again, make sure you like and subscribe. Watch for the video tomorrow. May vary depending on my editing time. You very well may see one towards the end of the week as well. Hopefully we get there. All right, last one with PZ. Here we go. Stem stock driver. Weight is 22. The head is approximately 193. Mizuno JPX for comparison. So there you go. And if it's feeling like Camellia, I'd still throw in a little bit extra weight. And again, we made it down to the bottom, 5 minutes over. Not too bad, as always, guys. And, thank you for guys, UK, US, all over the planet. I appreciate you guys coming in and asking the questions and keeping golf alive. So come back on next week. Hopefully you've enjoyed St. Patrick's Day, right? The green, all the green. St. Patrick's Day. The Irish get mad when you call it St. Paddy's Day, so St. Patrick's Day, right? And enjoy. Celebrate well, celebrate responsibly, have a lot of fun, and let's see your scores go low.